Reaction apresentou Sessão Coca-Cola Live.
Worldwide movie phenomenon.
Everyone's reaction of the Terminator is pretty much the same.
Sarah Connor.
Arnold, as a Terminator 1, he actually was a real bad guy.
The international success of the Terminator created a franchise that crushed the envelope on action and special effects.
I'll be back.
Then came Judgment Day.
Here are two movies that are beloved all over the world.
Get down.
There's been a wonderful evolution of the Terminator.
A level of special effects and stunt work that still remain to this day edge of the art.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day was a global blockbuster that earned even more critical praise.
The next Terminator and Terminator 2 was the marriage of CG and live action.
Now the future is here, and the cybernetic organisms are back.
Coming up with a major villain, I think it was natural for us to go in some other direction. Rather just an indestructible machine, it has to be a sexy, indestructible machine.
Get down!
Arnold has his hands full.
Anywhere in the world, no matter where I go, people ask me, when are you going to do another Terminator?
It's a Terminator movie. It's so exciting.
The robots are incredible.
We are using the most edge-of-the-art visual effects technology that exists.
Wow, I'm a Terminator in a Terminator movie.
Bigger, bolder, and more dangerous than ever. Terminator 3, blockbuster machines.
I remember seeing T1 and T2 in the theater, and I so clearly remember the experience of particularly seeing T2. I remember the theater I saw it in and how I felt as I was watching it. That's pretty unique. Most movies, you can barely remember you saw them, let alone where it was and the conditions under which you saw it. And that speaks to me about how deeply the movie really affected me.
The history behind Terminator is so enriched. You could almost start to believe it, so you really do kind of buy into it.
The audience was waiting, the producers were waiting, the studios were waiting, and I was waiting to do this movie.
It is time.
The second movie turned out to be really very exciting and really wonderfully new in ideas and in effects.
Very nice.
I think today, for us to be able to match that or improve that, I think is a difficult assignment, and you need total dedication for years in order to bring something like that about.
I'm just like the average moviegoer. When I go out to see a movie on Saturday night, I want to see the movie that has the good story. I want to get caught up in some tale that will transport me away for 2 hours. And that's what I felt was great about the first two Terminator movies, and that's what we tried to do in this movie as well.
Where's John Connor?
I'd seen the second movie as a kid many times, and it definitely made an impression on me. The story and all of the actors in the movie, you know, the special effects, of course, and just all of the elements to that movie they're still very strong in my mind.
It's like I'm penetrating the screen, you know, this story that I've been raised with is suddenly now a real part of my life, and I'm contributing to the shaping of it.
Get down!
The worldwide audience embraced this character. They just love the Terminator.
You're right.
What's terrific about Arnold is he has celebrated the success and the appeal of that character with the same enthusiasm that the audience has.
It is a great honor and a great pleasure to be involved in a movie project or in a franchise that has such a universal appeal. The story itself, I think, can be understood no matter what the nation is and no matter what the cultural background is or where they are, what continent it is. Everyone understands the fear of machines taking over, the rise of the machines.
Oh, God.
She's coming.
The first Terminator was a milestone in motion picture history.
Here we are, 19 years later, and we're working on Terminator 3.
Every time you bring that character back, you have to show it in a more spectacular way.
What makes Stan Winston win all those Academy Awards is because he's a genius. He has this mad vision.
We have advanced our robotic technology in this studio beyond literally any robotic technology in the world, beyond NASA. We had to create the TX. This is the baddest robot of all time, and it's a female.
TX is designed for extreme combat, driven by a plasma reactor and equipped with onboard weapons. Its arsenal includes nanotechnological transjectors.
Meaning?
It can control other machines.
My model is a much more advanced model than he is, so she does certain things that he can't do. And so she kind of has the upper hand a little bit.
Everything you see is a completely performing robot. And so the series has advanced the science, and the science has advanced the series.
That first night when Arnold came to work, and it was his first night of shooting in the picture, and he came out of his trailer in the Terminator wardrobe with the sunglasses, you know, with the big shotgun, and he walks onto the set to do his first scene. I just turned to everybody and I said, now we're making a Terminator movie.
Are you talking to me?
Just doesn't get any bigger than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He's great to work with in the fight scenes. I mean, he does know what he wants and what looks good and how he wants it, and he's got great ideas and, you know, so much experience. It's been a real eye-opener.
He's a guy who has completely mastered this type of movie, and just to watch him in action and kind of, you know, see him do his thing it is surreal.
Get out of here!
Terminator is the perfect role for me.
I was originally designed for assassination missions.
Even when I was doing the first Terminator, I remember Jim Cameron came up to me and said, it's amazing. It's like you have played this character now for years already.
Terminator. Jawohl.
You're so locked in to the Terminator character.
I love it.
And that's exactly the way I felt on Terminator 3. When I came on the set, it was like, you know, another day of being the Terminator character. That's how it felt the first day.
This is what I would look like kind of on film. Here you see all the mechanisms, the pistons, the various different parts when I speak.
In Terminator 3, Arnold goes through 7 stages of makeup changes. Stage 1 is when he arrives. He looks like Arnold. And then 2 through 7 are levels of destruction that he goes through, from Terminators, from accidents, from bullets. There is all kinds of things out there that want to tear the skin off of a Terminator's face and body. And people like me are here to make sure that that looks realistic.
Catherine Brewster, have you sustained injury?
Drop dead!
I'm unable to comply.
Stage 2 is showing a little bit of the chrome underneath, the endoskeleton skull that he has, and some of the facial damage that's gone on. And when he gets to stage 4 and 5, he gets this horrible burn. Then he goes into stage 6 and 7. This is caused from a helicopter crash. As you can see with this, the amount of damage to the face here is something that we can't create with makeup because we've removed a lot of the skin. This part of it will have to be done digitally.
The reasons why there has been such an effort made over this makeup is to make me lose my handsome looks. Let's slap on a bunch of makeup. Let's just rough him up. Let's put an artificial eye in there. Let's cover it half in green. And so they finally have succeeded.
The shortest amount of time that Arnold's in makeup is stage 1 because he looks like Arnold. He's in here for maybe 30, 45 minutes. The longest amount of time is about 5 hours in stage 7. I said, Arnold, be prepared. Starting Monday, we have a whole week where you're in the chair 5 hours a day. And he said, Jeff, you're telling the wrong person. He says, I'm perfectly happy in this chair for 5 hours a day. I'm very prepared for it. I'm going to enjoy it.
The end of the world. It's today, 3 hours from now.
Terminator has come back to find John Connor and to protect him from the female Terminator, the TX, who's come back to assassinate him. It's sort of the classic epic struggle of good versus evil. But what's so interesting here is you have machines, and one machine has been programmed to do something that's bad, and one machine has been programmed to do something good. And so he's caught in this really difficult place where he's stuck right in the middle of this struggle.
John Connor leads the resistance to victory.
How? Why? Why me?
You are John Connor.
The only way that the rise of the machines and the future can continue the way the machines have planned it is by eliminating John Connor and by eliminating the very people that they've been trying to eliminate in the last 2 movies.
You'll find a way to destroy her.
Unlikely. I'm an obsolete design. TX is faster, more powerful, and more intelligent. It's a far more effective killing machine.
TX is here to make sure that what's supposed to happen in the future does happen. She's just basically functions on a target basis. You know, it's doing whatever it takes to reach that goal or that target. John Connor was here. Where did he go?
This is a really interesting case where you have a movie franchise, the Terminator franchise, where it's known all over the world, but nobody has made a Terminator movie for over 10 years. And you have characters that, when we last saw them, John Connor was a young teenager. Now he's a young adult. And that creates a lot of interesting opportunities for me as a filmmaker to tell a story that explores the same universe that we all love, but with characters that are now in a different place in their lives, so there's a new, interesting chapter to tell in the story.
We stopped Judgment Day. I should feel safe, but I don't.
He feels like he stopped Judgment Day, but at the same time, something in the back of his head is telling him not to drop his guard, and you know, he has a sort of persisting paranoia.
You here to kill me?
No.
When John Connor sees Arnold for the first time, he has really a split reaction. On one hand, he's happy to see his old friend, the only kind of father figure he's ever known in his life. On the other hand, it's bad news, because the very fact that Arnold is there means that he and his mother did not change the future 10 years ago. And it means he's in for who knows what kind of nightmare experience.
Do you even remember me?
That was a different T-101.
What, do you guys come off an assembly line or something?
Exactly.
I think one of the wonderful things about the Terminator movies in general and this film is that the action is supported by real drama. You know, it's quite mythic.
They're killing everyone. Why?
The characters have a certain amount of dimension and value and weight. That aspect really makes the movies coherent and whole and impressive in the end. That's the thrill of it.
The TX is a great movie villain. She literally has this diabolical bag of tricks up her sleeve, and it makes for a lot of terrific action in the movie. We saw maybe 10,000 actresses for this part.
Kristana was by far, I mean, by a huge distance, the best. Her movements were perfect. She was very flexible, and she understood martial arts. And at the same time, she was making her moves. She kept her face totally straight without showing any effort. which was key to the character.
The great thing about TX is that, unlike the past Terminators, she's a female, so she can use her femininity and certain attributes to achieve her goals in other ways that the past Terminators haven't. So that's kind of a fun thing to play with.
Lady, have you any idea how fast you were going? Let me see your license and registration.
I like your gun.
Nick Stoll is perfect for that character. I think that he did an incredible job.
When I started this movie, I knew that I had to approach it in my own way, the character. You know, and it's 10 years later, and he's grown up and he's changed quite a bit.
You said that you'd let me go.
I lied. Claire Danes was a feisty little girl and at the same time a terrific actress. So it was really fun working with her.
My reason for doing this film were fairly specific. You know, I was really affected by the previous Terminator films, and I am a real fan of Jonathan Mostow's work, so I knew I'd be in safe hands with him. It took me about a month to finally sort of accept and believe that I was making an action movie. You know, it's like, gosh, you know, I'm so, like, winded all the time.
I think people are fascinated and love robots and love machines and love the whole technology of what we are able to create. But because we can create things now that are smarter than we are, and because we can create things that are stronger than us, and all of those much more sophisticated than us, I think that that is at the same time very scary for people.
Isn't this what's happening in our life today? I mean, aren't we stuck in case our computer doesn't work or the electricity goes out? We're all depending today more and more on machines. And this just takes it to the logical conclusion that if we entrust them to do everything, which we're starting to do more and more today, then what happens if they turn on us?
The whole cell network's down.
Skynet is assuming control over global communications in preparation for its attack.
Making Terminator 3 wasn't easy.
It was a tough show.
Creating something this big never is.
But I'm very proud of our work, and I hope everybody enjoys the movie.
Every day I went to work saying to myself, I can't believe I'm making a Terminator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's incredible.
He has this strange thing about him that you just want to see him more. You want him to win. You want him to survive. You want him to get there.
I think the most exciting part, of course, is having your vision come true and being able to make that film, being able to put it together against all odds.
The machines are coming.
It is amazing.
The world is changing.
Totally surreal.
It's really wild.
The time is now.
People love to not only be entertained, but they like to be frightened at the same time. Because it's all a creation by human beings, these computers become self-aware and basically take over the world. And that's what Terminator 3 is all about.
It is time.